Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. At Jacaranda Grounds Rally, Raila Odinga talked about Zakayo MTOZA USHURU, remarks that were directed towards William Samoei Ruto. And since that time, Kenyans have been making very interesting and funny remarks from those Raila Odinga's sentiments. And even before Raila made those remarks, already Kenyans had branded William Ruto Zakayo MTOZA USHURU, going by William Ruto's punitive tax measures that are meant to hurt poor Kenyans more at the expense of a few rich individuals close to power. And that is so because already in the recent days we are seeing people close to power, close to William Ruto and his government, and some who had been even accused of corruption and even tax evasions, their cases are being dropped. They are being let scot-free. While at the same time, the government is pushing Kenyans, poor Kenyans, to the wall to pay taxes. Yes. So Kenyans are seeing William Ruto's main intention is just to push them to pay taxes. While at the same time, William Ruto's government is not delivering. So the government's main business and intention is to push Kenyans to pay taxes. And images such as these have been trending all over. You are seeing Zakayo MTOZA USHURU on top of a tree, most likely being told, Zakayo, shuka chini. In that, Kenyans are just telling William Ruto, please, Mr. President, calm down and see the kind of sufferings Kenyans are going through already. And your tax measures are just going to hurt them more economically. Such sentiments have been trending. And upon Raila Odinga also referring to William Ruto as Zakayo MTOZA USHURU, Kenyans have been making very interesting, very funny remarks from those Raila Odinga's sentiments. And clips like this have been trending.
Zakayo ambaye alikuwa anatoza ushuru katika Biblia.
Zakayo shuka chini.
Bwana tuokoe.
Bwana Zakayo, Wakenya wamechoka na ushuru zako.
Yes. Those are Kenyans. What does that all mean politically? Before answering that question, if you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's dig deep. The first meaning, a good majority of Kenyans are clearly dissatisfied, fed up with William Ruto's tax measures. And just as I've explained, we are seeing rich individuals, some who are even accused of tax evasions. Their cases are being dropped. And these cases were running into tunes of billions of Kenyan shillings. Their cases are being dropped. And as those cases are being dropped, the government is pushing Kenyans, poor Kenyans, to the wall to pay taxes. And at the same time, that same government pushing Kenyans to pay taxes, the government is not delivering to those Kenyans. The government is actually rendering some jobless by doing away with kazi mtaani. So, where will these Kenyans get that money to pay those taxes? Kenyans are tired, fed up with William Ruto's government. And by mocking William Ruto as Zakayo MTOZA USHURU, they are telling the president, Mr. President, you are getting it completely wrong. Calm down and see the kind of sufferings Kenyans are going through. That's the first thing coming out very, very clearly. And then secondly, by Kenyans branding William Ruto as Zakayo MTOZA USHURU, it's also a sign that Kenyans see William Ruto as a man without any integrity at all. Because we know the biblical Zakayo was not a straight man. He was a man of deals. So by Ruto being branded Zakayo, Kenyans are just confirming that they don't trust on William Ruto's integrity. They see Ruto as a man with very low integrity, a man of questionable characters. And that can pass out that way because if you look at the individuals William Ruto has appointed in his government, they are characters with questionable integrity. They are people of questionable characters. Some were even accused of murder. We have seen those murder cases being dropped for them to serve in government. Some were accused of corruption, and even some courts had found them guilty. We are seeing those cases. Some cases are even being dropped for them to serve in government. If you look at the nature of appointments in William Ruto's government, appointments are only going to two regions, Kalenjin Rift Valley and to the mountain. That's also creating an impression, a perception that this is a government only serving two communities. And most likely the communities that voted for them, because Rigathi Gachagua is on record saying that they'll first of all serve the people who voted for them. So that's also creating a perception that this is a very shrewd government, a tribalistic kind of a government. Yes, that's also coming out very clearly. And then listening to William Ruto himself and his deputy, the kind of remarks coming from their mouths, they are remarks that are just meant to divide Kenyans more. We are seeing a president actually consistently and constantly talking on how he won an election that was very divisive, an election that a good majority of Kenyans strongly believes was a rigged and stolen election. A president who should be a symbol of national unity is consistently reminding Kenyans on how he won that election. An election that clearly a good majority of Kenyans believe was a rigged election. So instead of the president bringing the country together, the president is dividing the country more. Listening to Rigathi Gachagua himself, he's coming out as also one of the biggest inciters we have in Kenya today. All these political machinations and maneuvers by William Ruto and his team are making Kenyans to see him as Zakayo, a team that is not very straightforward. And above all, even before I conclude, it's a fact, ladies and gentlemen, that if you look at this government, rather going on the way the government is actually ruling, it's clear that, just as I've been saying, this is a team that was not prepared to form a government. They are very clueless about governance. And they keep making one blunder after blunder. And currently, we are seeing political temperatures rising. As political temperatures rises, we are seeing William Ruto and his team very clueless on how to handle the current prevailing political situation in the country. And if this continues, then you are seeing clearly that Kenyans are actually on their own. They don't have a government that can cool down political temperatures. A very clueless team in power. That's something coming out very, very clearly, ladies and gentlemen. And as I conclude, it's clear a good majority of Kenyans are really regretting, especially those who voted for William Ruto. They are really regretting for having put this government in power. Ruto told them he was going to form a government with them, a government of Mamamboga Boda Boda. This is a government now oppressing that Mamamboga, that Boda Boda, more than even the previous regimes. So I'm seeing a very high possibility where a good majority of Kenyans, most of those who supported this government, some are regretting having elected this punitive government. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humble, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. Any other person who wants to support us here, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number or feel free to channel your support to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis.